Alright guys, welcome to Red Embrace Hollywood. I have just finished creating my character. So let's start a new game, shall we? Everyone comes to Hollywood for a reason. Saints, sinners, artists, anti-artists, and all of the beautiful people in America. On September 24, 1996, I became one of those people. But why did I go to Hollywood? To become a legend, to charm my way into Hollywood's heart, to discover every dark secret. To become a legend, I didn't want to fade away as just another body. I wanted to be remembered. I had a dream to get my name on everyone's lips, even if I wasn't quite sure how to do it yet. Of course, that was just the reason why. The how, that was something different. I came to Hollywood as an artist creating beauty, a visionary seeking the truth, a rebel making waves. I had always done my own thing, had my own style, fought for my own ideals. Back in my hometown, it got me plenty of attention, but not enough. The world was ready for a change, and I was ready to set it in motion, no matter the cost. For 2 weeks, I prowled around the Sunset Strip, learning the ins and outs of Hollywood. Each night, I felt my dreams getting closer, more real. The glittering celebrity world was opening its door to me, beckoning me inside. Until 2 weeks later, when it happened. I had gone to a club, but not just any club. One that hosts the darker side of LA nightlife. I wasn't disappointed. Eerily beautiful people everywhere, swathed in dark clothes, slow, hypnotic music, the rustling of dancers in cages. Something felt different about this place. It wasn't just another club, no, it felt more like another world, oppressive, seductive, terrifying. Okay. Alright, I want to listen to the lullaby music here. Not this game music. To calm my nerves, I approach the bar to order my favorite drink, something strong, spicy, and colorful, sweet, light, rich, bitter, complex, and dark. It was delicious, but I didn't get more than a few seconds to enjoy the taste. When I looked up, someone down the bar was staring at me intently. A tall, dark-haired man dressed in all black, his gaunt face matched by a skull-piercing stare. After a few moments, he stalked closer, only stopping when his chest nearly touched mine. But it didn't feel like a pickup, not even like bold flirting. Suddenly I knew I was in very real danger. And yet, as I stared at my own reflection in his dilate pupils, I realized I couldn't move. I was completely hypnotized by the beastly looks in his eyes, his terrifying beauty. What he whispered in my ear, yeah, we're dealing with another vampire, it seems. I think this one. I swallowed in fear, but my curiosity only flared higher. There was something mesmerizingly inhuman in his gaze, and it felt like prey before a predator, something I had never truly felt before. It was more fascinating than I wanted it to be. Sinking his long nails against my shoulder, the man led me towards the filthy hallway with its filthier bathrooms, white moons, and the wheezing of people who had slipped to men drastically from under the doors, along with weak fluorescent light. But I didn't have much time to appreciate the cinematic moment. The man grabbed my hair and pushed me against the wall, which was full of posters for bands nobody cared about. I'm going to change your life forever, but you'll never learn my name, he whispered. How does that make you feel? I came here to change. I know you did. Everyone comes to Hollywood to change. As those low words rumble in his throat, he smiled. And two long crow fangs glimmer between his lips. Fangs? No, they couldn't be real, and yet for some horrible reason I knew they were. In that moment, I suddenly felt in a horrible rapture, gripped by fear, full of lust. This seemed like a dream. This couldn't be real, but I desperately wanted it to be. It was so thrilling, so horrifying, and I wanted more. And then I felt the bite. An agonizing pain ripped through me, searing into my neck, spreading through my whole body. I couldn't make a sound. I couldn't do anything except stand still, just like a deer in headlights. But slowly the pain started to melt away. Warm, euphoric tingles bubbled through my neck and down my spine. I let out a low moan before I could stop it, with the sound just blending to the murky background of music and laughter. It was better than anything. Better than sex, better than drugs, better than money or love or fame, and yet it felt like all those things rolled up into one sensation. His icy hands and lips pulled me down into this incredible euphoria, until my body couldn't take it anymore. I felt the blood draining from my veins, my breathing coming to a halt, my heart finally stopping. I realized what was happening, but I was too drowned in pure, mindless bliss to even care. I was dying. Was it dead? Drink. Something pressed against my lips. A metallic liquid dripped down my throat, sending a jolt through my body. I should have been dead, but I wasn't. Instead, I was half awake, half dreaming. In the middle of that surreal moment, I felt strangely enlightened, radiant, powerful. Enlightened. For an instant, my world was consumed by bright flames, so bright that they blinded me. But in the middle of that inferno, I thought I saw someone's face, someone familiar. And so hell spreads its legs. His voice rasped harshly in my ear. The world went dark. There was supposed to be some dramatic music playing right now. But then again, we'll change it to something else, so. Eat. Oh, this guy. Randall. Marcus. You know, all those stories about vampires, they're always fascinating. So I'm hoping this one will be kind of good here. Alright, maybe I need to graph. Just sip it there. The next thing I knew, I was on the sidewalk outside the club. What the hell was I doing here? Had I blackout? Was this a dream? I couldn't remember walking outside, even though I hadn't drunk anything strong. But I didn't remember that strange man. What he said to me. The bite. The bite? Did that mean no? What a stupid thing to drink. That must have been a weird hallucination brought on by the flashing lights and pounding music. It served me right for going to such a sleazy club, honestly. Alright, back to the game again. I just want to listen to the music a little bit louder. Find love today. Oh, look at that. I stumbled through the streets, fighting the urge to stop and vomit. I could feel my skin growing cold. My mouth was dry and I didn't need to breathe. But at the same time, all my senses seemed oddly sharper. I could smell a discarded cigarette from half a block away, make out the fine print on a distant poster, and even hear the low whispers of a couple down the street. I felt like a wild animal thrown into the middle of a freeway, completely overwhelmed. No, none of this was possible. There had to be some other explanation. Vampires didn't exist. But if they didn't exist, then what was I becoming? By the time I rounded the corner to an alleyway, I was ready to slump down and curl up until I figured out what the hell was going on. But as soon as the alley came into view, I saw someone standing there watching me. Not just watching. It seemed more like he was waiting for me. He took a deep breath, slowly shaking his head. You smell fresh. If I strain my ears, I can almost hear water dripping back into the baptismal phone. The man's deep voice was accented, but an aristocratic southern drawl, each word slow and emphatic. His manner of speech reminded me of a preacher, melodic and a little theatrical. But almost instantly, I sensed that something about him was different, wrong somehow. Now you like me. Dead, you mean? Yes, sister, I am dead. In any other sense, though, I would be mighty doubtful. A nose smile strayed over his lips, and he adjusted his sunglasses smugly. Now, as for introductions, I am the Grandmaster who plays blindfolded. That cut on your hand you don't remember getting, that scratch our face on the yearbook photo. They call me Marcus, and I am happy to join you for the best and worst night of your existence. After tipping an imaginary hat to me, he flashed a white grin, and I glimpsed two small white fangs shining in the light. No need to mention your own name, Midori, so don't worry. I know exactly who you are. And now you're one of us, a night stalker, a bloodsucker, an overblown myth hiding a horrible monster. You are a vampire, sister. Welcome to the Valley of Dead. So, I've really been turned into a vampire. Well, not quite. Right now, I'd say you more resemble a walking corpse. It's not until you sink your fangs into a live body, feel the heat flowing to your cold guts, that you start to shift into something more. My brain didn't feel like it could process what Marcus was saying. Everything made sense, but at the same time, it all just seemed too insane to be real. As if he could sense my confusions, Marcus let out a patient sigh. Considering you still look bemused, let me try to put the facts of the situation in simpler terms. You merely turned into a different kind of parasite, sister, an honest one. Money, sex, favors, you won't have to suck those out of human folk anymore. They will simply fall into your lap. Just blood, Blood is all you need now. Doesn't that make you feel relief? Marcus suddenly paused, taking a deep, long sniff of the air. A few moments later, he leaned towards me, this time sniffing close to my neck. What are you? Oh my, is that mouth of blood I sent? I think you're in for a fun time, sister. That light in your eyes remind me of Arson, angry and why. You're boning up, but your humanity's still trapped inside. Oh, but that's normal for your house, so don't let it bother you too much. He winked at me, grinning like we had shared some priceless inside joke, except I didn't get the punchline. What do you mean, mother? Indeed, you'll learn plenty about them soon enough, about yourself rather. For now, you should at least know this. You were bitten by a mother vampire, which means your blood has taken on those qualities and you're part of that house. You have my sincerest apologies. His lips curled in a slow, insidious smirk that suggests his apologies were anything but sincere. Was anything he said to me sincere though? Did he actually know what was happening to me, or what was he just some crazy druggie on the street? With my mind reeling like this, I couldn't decide which situation was more plausible. Alright, I do believe that's enough. Before you get into any trouble, there's someone you need to meet. Come now, back to the pen like a good little lamb. This is really suspicious. Don't resist it, your time hasn't come yet. Before I had a chance to offer a reply, Marcus grabbed my shoulders, pulling me forcefully towards the street. Stay quiet. I bit my lip and said nothing. I wasn't exactly eager to trust him, but I didn't have much of a choice. When we reached the street a few moments later, I noticed a black sedan parked in front of us. It hadn't been there when I walked by earlier. Don't worry, my dear. We wouldn't dream making you right in anything but luxury. His voice drawled in my ear, ringing with amusement as he opened the backseat door. We? Who is we? Oh, you'll see soon enough. Without further ceremony, Marcus shoved me inside the sedan, squeezing in behind me. The second he closed the door, the shadowy driver started up the car and we sped off down the road at an alarmingly fast pace. I was too disoriented to try and figure out our destination from the landmarks passing by, but that didn't keep a sickening sense of anticipation from building in my gut. If there are any questions burning in your mind, now might be the time to ask. Marcus murmured to me from the other seat, his eyes glowing faintly behind their dark lens. I can't promise you much, let alone the answers, but I figure you deserve some semblance of a welcome. Let it never be said that I am not a gentleman. Why was I turned into a vampire? You'll have to ask my employer that, I'm afraid. I was probably told the details, but everything in my head sometimes blurs together into one big screaming mass. Were you waiting for me back there? I was indeed. Consider me the bouncer to the eternal party in hell. Is every vampire like you? Fortunately for them, no, I'm the only one house out of three. We are as different in death as we were in life, just a little more damn. Right, that's enough for now. As you say, sister. We rode for a short while longer, and in the silence that followed, my mind felt blank. I was slowly coming to terms with what had happened, even though the rational part of me insisted I was stuck in a dream. Wherever Marcus was taking me, I could only hope that I would finally learn the truth behind everything, including that mysterious man at the club. It was long before we arrived at a huge towering building marked with a giant sign that read Hollywood Heights Hotel. I had passed by this intimidating place before, noticing the unusually high security outside. Everyone who passed through its doors has a certain strange presence about them, even stranger than most of Hollywood's eccentrics. Marcus pulled me out of the car and into the hotel's luxurious lobby, his boots clacking on the polished marble floors. We came to a stop in front of a private room, but instead of knocking, Marcus simply barged right in. Good evening, Sal Rice. I've brought Midori, our little mother, novitiated. Please give her your warmest welcome. Welcome back, Marcus. An elegant woman stood up from her chair to greet us, her eyes flicking from Marcus to me. I've been expecting you. Marcus, there's been a mistake. This individual was not supposed to be beaten. She spoke in the very slow, dangerous fashions of someone barely controlling their rage. At least that rage seemed to be directed at Marcus, not me. Is that so? Marcus shrugged, looking about as bothered as if he had forgotten to get milk from the grocery store. But our sister here was the only pretty young dead thing to walk out of the abattoir. Your lucky candidate must have missed their appointment. Missed it. The woman stippled her fingers to her upper lip, and from the murderous way she stared at the ground. It was a wonder she didn't burn a hole through it. Just one headache after another. If only I could hire someone competent for a change. Finally, with a deep sigh, she turned her focus back to me. I had the distinct feeling her calculating eyes were scrutinizing me, doing some kind of rapid cost-benefit analysis. Well, let me start by saying my name. Charisse. Okay. And I apologize for all this happening to you. As you might have guessed, another model was supposed to receive the baton and not you. It seems there was a misunderstanding. Then there's no way to turn me back. No, I'm afraid not. It was that simple. We wouldn't be standing here now, would we? It seems my agent was sabotaged, presumably by your mysterious sire, who's no doubt an enemy of mine. Regardless, I'm rather short on time, so I won't mince words. You can lament over your loss of humanity for the next century, or you can accept the hand you've been dealt with and move on. Charisse breathed along without trying to hide her impatience or annoyance, like I was inconveniencing her somehow. It almost left me speechless. She was going to chalk this up into a misunderstanding. You were an accident, but I'm offering you a purpose. As cruel as this may sound, this turn of events needn't be a tragic one for you. It is a chance for all you could have ever wanted in life, perhaps even more if you possess the will to survive. Therefore, my proposal is a straightforward one. Will you join the Los Angeles Coven of Vampires, my coven? I don't have much of a choice, do I? Not particularly, no. I am pleased you realize this, at the very least, so we can proceed past formalities. The briefest of smiles flashed over her lips like a subliminal message flickering on the TV screen. Very well, let me establish the main 3 rules of our coven. 1. When you feed, do not kill. It is unnecessary, since models almost always lose their memory of events leading up to the bite. 2. Never reveal your true nature to a model. By doing so, you endanger not only yourself but our entire kind. As a result, you'll be disposed of. And finally, do not turn any model into a vampire without my permissions. My explicit permissions. It is necessary to keep our population to a minimum, as otherwise the area could quickly become overcrowded. Do you understand all this? Crystal clear. Good. See to it that you don't forget these rules. With a quiet sniff, Sari's motion towards the chair beside Marcus, who had languidly stretched out into a seat while we were talking. As I settled down in the offered chair, Marcus flashed me a sidelong smirk. It seemed he found all this particularly amusing. Shari snapped her fingers to get my attention. My set of shop wasn't high on her list of priorities, apparently. Now, Midori, you have arrived during a most difficult time. It just so happens that we're in the middle of a war, a messy political war waging in the dark, entirely unbeknownst to mortals. As she began her first business agenda, Sharice elegantly lowered herself on the couch opposite to me. There are 3 houses, the ones all vampires belong to. Iskari, Mava, and Golgotha are fighting for the rule of Los Angeles. To put it very crudely, Iskari tend to be diplomatic, Mava are more aggressive, and Golgotha are everything else. If only it were that simple. Yes, well, no doubt you'll learn of the nuance soon enough. Crossing her legs, she let out a faint sigh, one hand flitting to push up her glasses. The current ruling house is Iskari, my house. We have governed Los Angeles for a number of years, but recently the other house have gotten a little, how should I put it, rowdy. We need to negotiate some sort of 3-way peace to restore order, but that's easier said than done. There's simply too many secret deals, betrayals, and assassinations going on behind the scenes. However, you're new enough to be politically naive and unbiased. She paused, that critical light glinting in her eyes again. Unlike most of the other vampires in LA, you have neither an existing reputation nor any allegiance to speak of, and thus you may be the key to our reconciliation. I'm listening, go on. The first task I intend to give you is a simple one, but it will serve as an accurate measure of your potential. There's a meeting going on tomorrow night between Randall, the powerful leader of the Marva rebels, and some Golgotha emissary. I want you to sneak into that meeting and disrupt it. How can I disrupt it? That will be the least of your concerns. You should be more worried about getting past guards. Whatever tools you have at your disposal, I suggest you use them. Quick thinking and improvisation are the keys to seeing another sunset. Tomorrow night, Marcus will call you an hour before the meeting. He should have all the details you need. Make sure that no treaty is made between the Marva and Golgotha. It is an important step towards forcing Randall onto our side. He is too valuable as a potential ally. Consider this task your trial. It is an opportunity to transcend your circumstance to prove that fate chose you for a reason. With an air of finality, Cyrus rose and stepped briskly past me, striding over to the door. Marcus shuffled aside, eyeing her with an arched eyebrow. You'll be staying here at the Hollywood Heights Hotel, in the room intended for the candidate to replace. The hotel is managed by some of our people, so you'll be perfectly safe. The next time we speak, I'll be looking forward to the tale of your success, Midori. The door slammed shut behind her, and the swift clacking of her high heels slowly faded into the distance. I turned to Marcus, unsure how exactly to process everything Charis has just told me. Well, it seems the stars smile on you, sister. I let out a delighted chuckle, winking at me behind those dark lenses. Charis doesn't like to make mistakes. You must have caught her in a good mood tonight. Tell me, what do you think about the Red Queen? Powerful, confident, I like her. I don't believe she's still listening on us, sister. I say you're cautious though, and that's good. Marcus paused, glancing down to an old-fashioned pocket, watching his palm. The fact that he owned one didn't surprise me in the least somehow. I'll be calling your room around midnight tomorrow. It'll be wise to prepare yourself in every sense of the word. Now it's about time for me to head out, but before I go, I have one last thing to say to you, and I don't intend to say it twice. His expression suddenly grew dark. He stared at me intently, as if to confirm I was listening. Do not trust anyone. Every soul you meet in Hollywood is full of lies, some unintentional, others deliberate. Very rarely does anyone do what they say or say what they truly mean. Only a fool believes everything they are told. Do you understand me, sister? You mean I can't trust you either? And why would I be any different? My words are perhaps the least trustworthy of all. You should never simply take what I give you. Oh dear, I do believe we have fallen into a paradox. It's rather dark down here, isn't it? Snickering softly, he shoved a hand into his pocket, rummaging around for something. Where's the dam? Ah, here. If you ever want to go find a car together to toss around like football, that sounds like a marvel pastime. This is where you'll find me. I reached for my hand, pressing a small object into my palm. My eyes flicked down to see what he had given me. A small business card, colored bright and emblazoned with bold black letters. Blood and Rose. A dark paradise for all of your erotic fantasies, adult movies, magazines, and more. Was I misinterpreting the card, or did Marcus work at his second shop? But by the time I glanced up again, he was already gone. I hadn't even heard the door open or shut. How had he left the room so suddenly? Maybe it was for the best if I didn't know. Leaving the empty room behind, I found my way back to the front desk, asking about Shari's reservation. A slightly awkward, pale-faced clerk handed me a key without question. Room 915. Numbly, I made my way into the elevator and up to my floor, where a past corridor opened up to greet me. The room numbers felt like they passed by in a blurry Macbeth. 909, 911, 913, 915. My new home. Sparkling clean, warmly lit, beautifully decorated, and almost too glamorous to be real. The kind of room where you see stars partying, arguing, and overdosing, bringing up their agents, shutting the curtain to hide from camera flashes, straight out of a magazine. Up close, though, I realized that room was just as dead as me. The cameras were the only thing that had made it seem so alive. But part of me had guessed that already. As I stared at one of the stock paintings on the wall, trying to figure out what emotions I was feeling, something stirred in my gut. A dull aching hunger. It didn't feel like the hunger pangs I had felt before. It was in my mind as much as my body, like an addict who needed the fix. Was it a hunger for that? As much as I didn't want to think of it as a possibility, the idea uncomfortably warmed into my head. Go look in the fridge. Maybe there's some blood there. Maybe regular food would tide me over, or just some water. I knew that was bullshit, of course, but I pretended not to. I slung over to the mini fridge, unsure of what I hoped to find. Pulling the tiny door open, I bent down to peer inside. But instead of discovering any water or food impacts, I saw something completely different. 3 packs of blood, neatly sealed in translucent bags like morbid juice boxes. I snatched one up without thinking. At that moment, the sketchy bag looked better than a meal from a 5-star restaurant. Moving on impulse, I sank my face into the plastic, downing the cold liquid in trying gulps. The second it slid down my throat, a rush of energy flowed through me. The pain vanished, and my body hummed with, well, not life, but something close to it. Drinking it became so naturally, and each sip tasted better than the last. But in the back of my mind, I knew that I had lost some part of myself at that moment, something that might never come back. So I drank until the bag was empty and it was over. A knock at the door interrupted my dinner. I threw the empty bag into the trash can, quickly wiped off my bloody lips, and reached for the door. I thought they had left, but maybe one of them had come back to tell me something. Oh, good evening. A gentle, melodic voice peered out from the man before me. I had never seen his face before, but his too pale skin and flashing fangs immediately gave away what he was. You're Midori, aren't you? Please tell me I'm right. Yes, that would be me. What do you want? I'm sorry, I meant to introduce myself better, but once you open the door, all the words in my head just vanish. I have that effect on people sometimes. Of course you do. You've already got the shine of a star. He gazed at me silently for a moment, a bright, enthralled glimmer shining in his eyes. I wanted to talk to you just for a little while. I promise I won't steal too much of your time. Sure, come on in. Thank you. I slipped inside the room, glancing around curiously for a few moments. I smelled delicate floral perfume on his skin and clothes, one that made my nose tingle. When he turned back to me, his eyes intensely fixated on mine, flicking away now and then, as if he couldn't keep contact for too long. I didn't mean to catch you off guard, but I stopped by on, well, impulse. And really, I'm so happy that I did. I toyed with the fringe of his scarf, letting out a soft exhale. I'm sorry, my name is He. I already know who you are, of course, and I hope we'll get to know each other much better. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Why are you here again? Yes, of course, I should be more considerate after. Well, I passed Shari's on my way and she told me about what happened to you. It's awful. I say I'm sorry, but apologies won't get your life back. So I wanted to offer you a sympathetic ear and a shoulder to cry on if you need it. He spoke quietly and gruffly as if we were attending a funeral for the Midori who had died back in that club. It wasn't so long ago that I lost my life too. That change left you almost numb at first, but then when everything finally hits you, the loneliness is overwhelming. I'm not going to move about it. What's done is done. That is a strong attitude. I'm a little jealous. I just hope you can keep your strength after the weight of everything that really hates you. Let's our quiet sigh, running a hand through his feathery hair. It was a little surprising how much my situation seemed to upset him, considering the apathy or amusement everyone else had shown so far. Shari's mentioned your house too. Houses. Well, they're supposed to be the core of who we are in this hidden world. What defines us and what sets us apart. Our gaze met for a few moments. He kept his head slightly lower, either from shyness or a conscious effort to be coy. You know, we're supposed to hate each other on principle. Iskari and Marva almost never get along. But I don't think there's any way I could bring myself to hate you. I couldn't care less what house someone's from. All that matters is their personality. You can still see things with such clear eyes, without all the prejudice the rest of us have. I hope the coldness of this world never darkens that in you, Midori. I truly do. Oof. He studied me for a few moments in silence before his gaze shifted to the window. I glanced past him with a glittering cityscape, only to meet his stare again in the glass reflection. His expression had quickly sobered. The way his mood seemed to shift so quickly caught me off guard. It was like they flipped on and off at a whim. You know, a few years ago, You would have had a group mother to welcome you into this new world. But now, well, with the war going on, everyone seems more interested in protecting themselves than helping each other and even their own house members. I can't stand it. You are very empathetic for vampire. My common mate, he chuckled, although he didn't seem surprised. I couldn't have been the first person to tell him that. I am cursed with a bleeding heart, if not a beating one. That's the nature of many Iskari. We were so sensitive to our humanity in life that it stays with us even past death. It is a double-edged sword, I think. Is that why you're here in Hollywood? No, I was born here, raised here, died here. For a moment, his voice sounded slightly strained. Hollywood is everything to me, and once upon a time it was everything to Hollywood. But that was a long time ago, in a different world. He smiled me wistfully, a far-off look in his eyes. But listen to me, Midori. More than anything else, I hope you remember, if you don't want to be alone, you don't have to be. I run about downtown, nothing much. Just a little note for stars in the sanctuary for people like us. It's called Saturnalia. Won't you come by sometime? I don't mean to sound pushy, but the warm lamplight reflected in his eyes as they flicked up towards mine. His gaze was so longing, so hopeful, that I had to wonder what I had done to warrant it. There's something different about you, something that I have never seen before. I would really like to talk to you more if you let me. I think about it, thanks. My hesitant reply made he clasped his hands together in a playfully pleading way. You're not giving me false hope, are you? But maybe it isn't so bad. I look forward to the chance of seeing you again every night I'm there. I should leave. The sun is coming up soon, but I'll remember to say a prayer for your success tomorrow. Until then, if you ever need me, you know where I am. With a gentle bow of his head, he gave me one last long look. Good night, Midori. Good night. He'd slip off. With that, he quietly made his way to the exit, slipping outside. Once the door clicked shut behind him, I was alone again in golden solitary confinement. Like he'd said, the sun would rise soon, meaning I would need to tightly shut the curtains and curl up until tomorrow night. In a way, I didn't want to. Shutting the curtains would mean surrendering to the reality that this wasn't all some insane dream. But I wasn't sure how much longer I could deny that reality. With the coming sunrise safely hidden away, I turned off the bedroom lights. As I stared at the LED glow of the alarm clock, letting my transformed body sink towards something resembling sleep, one last thought drifted into my head. I felt incredibly lonely. I felt deeply determined. I felt strangely excited. This one. As unbelievable and terrifying as tonight had been, a part of me was perversely thrilled. This new sense of power, this world's secrets, even the taste of blood. Maybe this was who I was always meant to be. With that feeling still settled in my chest, I closed my eyes. Finally, a comforting nothingness pulled me down into the dark and away from the coming day. I'd been waiting 3 hours for this call, anxiously pacing in my room. I picked up the phone before the third ring, readying myself for Marcus' poetic drawl. Hello to our Valley Hollywood Heights customer. But instead, a boisterous, theatrical voice boomed at me through the receiver. Are you paying too much for your car insurance? We're offering a very special deal just for Wallet Heights Platinum Rewards members. I slammed the phone back down on its base, unamused. But a few seconds later, silently pick up the phone. I see my efforts to put your nerves at ease are unappreciated, sister, and I'm mighty disappointed. Down to our business for tonight, however. The place you are to go is July Company Parking, an abandoned garage downtown. That is where the parties of our doomed rendezvous are meeting. Haha. You need to find Randall and get him to call off negotiations. Will you follow me this far, sister? Yeah, continue. Now listen carefully because here comes the best part. There's a knife that Randall loves very, very much. Why he loves that blade as much as I started love that daddy? Everything's someone stole it. It drive him completely wild and put him in a very unprofessional mood. I heard Marcus inhaling sharply on the other end of the line, like someone preparing to gleefully deliver news. And that knife just so happens to be waiting for you at the hotel's front desk. You take that knife, show it to Randall, and pretend you took it off a Golgotha who wanted to drive a hard bargain with it. That is sure to ruin negotiations. You could easily pass for one of his rebel rousers, so just masquerade on his side for a little while and surely things will work themselves out. I have a really bad feeling about this. Good, if you didn't, I'd be far more worried for you. Now, once you have finished up, return to the hotel bearing all of your good tidings. I have faith in you, Midori. Then again, I also had faith in Jack Kennedy. So maybe don't call yourself the Messiah just yet. It was sink or swim then. I didn't have the first idea of what to expect, and that terrified me, but if I had survived so far hollow among the living, then I'll find a way to do it among the dead. After picking up the knife from the front desk, I left the hotel and sculled out onto the street. July Company Parking. I vaguely remember seeing that sign before, at least so I had some idea of where to go. Stilling my nerves, I set out in the garage direction, trying to avoid eye contact with any late-night passerby. But as I walked, I started to feel the same aching hunger I had felt last night. It was just a dull pain at first, but it quickly grew stronger, gnawing at me from the inside. I couldn't focus on anything else. Before I entered the parking garage, I would have to find blood to save myself, or else the pressure was snapping. Damn it, that was probably why the fridge had 3 blood packs, not just one. Just then, my heightened sense picked up a scent. Down the alley, the scent of a mortal. Alone. There was no one else nearby, which meant I could feed on them if I wanted to. The pain was getting worse. My body ached, my head spun, and the whole world pulsed in front of me. Okay, I'm going to save the game. This is our first choice here. We can try to resist the hunger or we can give in. This time I'll try to resist it. I couldn't give in. I was a human, not an animal. How could I just sink my face to someone, a living being like her? So I tried to tell myself. The hunger kept growing and growing. If I drank just a little bit, that wouldn't be hurt, right? I wouldn't be doing anything cruel. Just one small taste. I slipped into the alley, pulled like a magnet towards that wonderful scent. It's going to happen anyway, so that save was for nothing then. It didn't take long before I caught sight of the source. The young man let out a gasp when it stalked up to him. He had been taking a piss behind the dumpster, but quickly zipped himself up and cleared his throat. Hello? Can I help you with something? I'm just on my way home from work. His voice trembled. This was the first time I had ever really been afraid of me. But the only thing I could concentrate on was the smell of his blood, suddenly the most delicious scent in the world. Yes, I need you. Need me? For what? I took a step towards him slowly and stayed in place. I could see his whole body tensing up, getting ready to turn and bolt. Another step, and then another, until he was only a foot or two away. Pull him into my arms. Shoo, come here. Just one moment. Ah, he cried, but didn't try to struggle. In fact, it almost sounded like he was hiding excitement. I screamed in an embrace, managing to fight the agonizing hunger for a few more seconds. You're dreaming, don't worry. With a shuddering breath, he closed his eyes, quickly clutching my shirt. My lips met the side of his neck. Fangs extending, I pressed them to his flesh. And sucked them in. Oh, hot blood that flowed onto my tongue, down my throat, sending sparks of life into my dead body. It was pure bliss. Not like food, not even like a bus. It was a hot, delicious shock that ran through me and lifted me up. The blood pack from the last night couldn't even compare. It was like tasting ambrosia after licking dirt off the ground. But it wasn't just the taste that made the moment euphoric. It was the experience, the predatory feeling of holding this mortal, who squirmed with pleasure as I fed from him. Faint whimpers, licking out from beneath my fangs, soft and sweet. Why was it so unnervingly satisfying? Slowly, his body grew limp into my arms like the trampoline, chest rising and falling unevenly. I pulled back, licking my lips. I had almost gotten carried away and drunk too much. It was so hard to help myself. The young man was still slumped in my arms, peacefully unconscious. I could still feel his heartbeat, and his skin didn't look too pale. He would wake up before long, or so I hoped. But I couldn't waste any more time. I needed to head towards the garage to catch the meeting before it ended, so I decided to carry him somewhere safe. This was early at night, and leaving an unconscious guy lying in the alley was probably only a step away from manslaughter. Funny how this boy was more in danger from his fellow men than from a monster like me. I picked him up easily, thanks to my mouth of blood, probably, and searched the nearby buildings for a safe place to live in. It wasn't long before I found an old dentist's office, long since abandoned. I kicked open the door and set the man down inside the dark, dusty waiting room, tossing the rug on top of him for a blanket. Better than nothing, probably. At last, with a somewhat lightened conscience, I hurried back to the street. But as I rushed towards the parking garage, savoring the last drops of blood on my tongue, I couldn't stop thinking about what just happened. So this was what it meant to be a vampire, an urban, unholy apex predator. A parasite, just like Marcus had said, living off somebody else's life. There really was no going back. July company parking garage closing October 8. How many Octobers ago, I wonder? Judging from the litter and grime all around the sign, probably quite a few had passed. Well, it didn't matter. This was the place. A bold-looking thug stood by the entrance, obviously stationed as a guard. My first ride, by the looks of it. Putting on a confident expression, I strode up to him, clearing my throat. Place his clothes, go dick around somewhere else. He barked a few short words out at me before I could even open my mouth. If you don't let me into this meeting, you're gonna be in this shit later. Oh yeah, I don't remember Randall saying anything about waiting for someone. Then go fucking ask him. Bet he'll be thrilled you made him wait longer. For a few seconds, he scrutinized me closely, his thick brows knit together. But finally, he let out a sharp grunt and nodded. Alright, damn it, why don't they ever keep me in the fucking loop? The guards stepped aside and I didn't waste any time hurrying into the garage. I was lucky they only had muscle, not brains, in front of the entrance. After darting down a few levels of the garage at top speed, I finally arrived. Loud whispers and rowdy laughter made it sound like the meeting hadn't started yet. I was just in time. The two groups standing across from each other were pretty clear cut and I could easily tell which house was which. One was full of rough types, probably gangsters and punks in life. Tattoos, leather jackets, piercings, and wide eyes were everywhere. They were Marva, like me. What would they do if they knew I was here to sabotage them? Would they forgive me, or would I just be another enemy? The other group, interestingly enough, looked like the complete opposite. Eccentric outfits, soft murmurs, and a large amount of eerie smiles. Alright, let's cut the bullshit and talk conditions. And their voice suddenly boomed through the garage, making everyone fall silent. Moments later, a tall, muscular vampire pushed his way to the front of the Marva group. The sheer force of his presence made it instantly clear who he was. I only agreed to this meeting because it's got vast more than I hate you. I'm guessing it is mutual. If you want to choose, that better be something to sweeten the deal. I don't think these guys here will settle for anything less. Yeah. Hell yeah, don't let them weasel out, Randall. Cheers of approval rang out from the roadie group behind him. Why, of course, Mr. Randall. I wouldn't dream of offering anything but the fairest of terms for our Marva, brethren. One of the Gotha vampires stepped forward, his song voice tinged with a British accent. Fuck you, slimy bastard. We know what your game is. Snarled and Jim instantly rushed among the Marva in response. Fairest? Sure, you bastard would cheat a blind guy that does if you could get away with it. So, what are you gonna try to sell us? Fortune-telling services? Voodoo magic? We're gonna need something realer than empty promises. The Golgotha vampire let out a smug chuckle, like he had a hidden trump card ready. I didn't like the sound of that. If I had to crash and burn this meeting, then I have to do something now before they work out a deal. Let's save the game here. Whoa! Hey, watch where you're... Pushing through the car up Marva, I bolted up to Randall as fast as I could. I pulled out a knife and held it in my palm, trying to keep my face from revealing anything. Whoa, what the hell are you doing, kid? He glared me shocked and suspicious, and I realized that if I couldn't convince him that the accusing look might just be the last thing I would ever see. Boss, I found this on one of their guys. This kid, I don't know what you... What the... Cutting off mid-sentence, Randall glanced at the knife in my hands. Then his eye slid back up to mine, reading my gaze wordlessly for a few moments. You got this from... one of those crazy guys. Who else? A Golgotha. He took a deep breath. Those motherfuckers, they stole it from me. Holy hell. Excuse me? Mr. Randall, would you mind explaining what's going on? The leader of the Golgotha group called over to us, clearly confused. Damn it, I can't deal with this shit right now. Mr. Randall, awfully sorry to interrupt, but we would really like to present out to... Get the fuck out of here! All of you bastards, meeting's fucking cancelled. Randall's angry command echoed through the garage, loud enough to make a few vampires wince. And you guys must show these motherfuckers going back to their red holes. He addressed his own group with a low groan, which was met with hurried nods and eager knuckle cracking. I'll meet you outside in a little while. Go on, get going. Alright, you heard the man. Come on, let's go. Within seconds, the garage turned into a chaotic mess of Golgotha members spinning off Rabbit Marva, who pushed and shoved them to the exit. It was easy to tell how much Randall's group was hungry for a fight, but the Golgotha vampires stayed placid, like they refused to give the Marva what they wanted. The confusion and shouting went on for a few hectic minutes, but eventually the garage emptied, leaving behind only Randall and me.